Hi guys, this is me Osama Gaza. Welcome to my channel, and today's video is actually going to be the second part of the new tutorial started on Photoshop. So for those who did not watch my previous video, please go to my channel, watch it, and that will help you to keep up with me in this time. Alright, so in today's video guys, I'll be showing you how to blend the third part of our picture, which was the water surface, the lady and the shark, with the rest of the design, and add this gradual shades of the blue color and the steam here in order to add more depth to your final design, and of course the reflection here on the water. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so what we're trying to do now, just let me delete the old layer mask. Yeah, what we're trying to do now is to place each one of the lady over here and the water surface on a separate layer in order to control the size of each one and blend it properly with the rest of the design. Okay, so we're gonna start a new layer mask, grab our brush tool by hitting B on the keyboard and just increase the size a little bit by using the bracket tool, the bracket key on the keyboard too. And now we can start erase. And of course guys, I made sure that the front color is the black color because what we want to do here is to erase and hide parts from our picture. I guess that's enough. Go to the layer mask and play a little bit around with the feather until you have something that you're satisfied with. Can increase or decrease the shaft edge a little bit. Here, more feather. And here we go. Alright, so now we're going to do the same step with the lady, but on a separate layer because we want to change the size a little bit. And I actually got this layer prepared here in advance, so I'm going to delete the smart effects over here, and I'm also going to delete this old layer mask. Okay, and I'll pretty much do the same thing. Create a mask, grab my brush tool, start erasing these parts a little bit, and right, and I'll just go a little bit smaller, keep erasing, and here we go. As you guys can see, we got rid of the remaining parts. We have each one of the water surface and the lady on a separate layer, and that's what we exactly want. Alright, so the final one here is going to be blending and bringing this shark and place it in this position over here. Alright, so now we're ready to work on the shark here. Let me delete the old mask. Alright guys, so before using the brush tool, there is a very important thing I wanted to tell you about. You have to know what layer goes on top of what. So as you guys can see here, I did not just arrange these layers randomly. I did every and each one of them on purpose. And as you guys can see here, I placed the shark below the water surface. Why? Because I'm trying to add this vibe, this feeling that the shark is coming from far away and is kind of attacking the girl. So if you did not put it that way, it's not gonna look like that, and it's gonna be a little bit cheesy look. Even if you try to cut and crop the shark and just get rid of the water parts over here, you won't have that depth in your picture. You can just try it and experiment it yourself to understand what I'm talking about. So the better way to do it is just organizing your layers in advance. That will help you a lot when you start working on cutting, cropping, and using the brush tool. Alright, so let's create a mask. And because we're working on a figure here and it has some sharp edges and angles, what we can do is first of all using our quick selection tool and selecting the sharp body, get rid of the water parts. You guys can see that will make our job way easier. Let me delete this mask and create a new one. And you guys, here you go. Alright, so now what we have to do is just fine tune this mask and add more depth for it. And to do that, we can just use our brush tool and play a little bit around with the placement of the shark. So, and okay, size, black color in front, and start fine tuning these edges. Because as you guys can see here, you can find these white borders from the original picture, and we want to get rid of that. Alright guys, so now we're done with the shark, and I just duplicated this figure to make it more visible. Alright, and created that group. Okay, so now actually we can say that we have the foundation that we need for our design. Everything is ready. We have the background, we have the bottom part, we have the upper part. And here actually comes the most important thing in photo manipulation, the final touch, how to match the colors and how to make everything blend into one vibe and one mood. And this is actually not easy. Believe it or not, this is the most important thing in how you come up with something cool that satisfies you first and of course satisfies everyone else. Alright, so now as you guys can see, I'm just going to explain the remaining part on my original design because it's gonna take a little bit of time, and I'm trying to keep it concise, just giving you the idea and you can experiment that on your own. Alright, so for example, the first thing I'm gonna be showing you guys here is this kind of steam I added to the water surface in order to add more depth to the temperature of the whole scene. And I did that by using different kind of steam. So first of all, we have this mist or steam layer, whatever you want to call it, and let me delete this mask over here and bring it back to normal. Alright, so this is the original Steam kind of design I had and used in my design. And as you guys can see, I played a little bit around with the perspective ratios over here in order to change the orientation of the layer. Then after that, let me just hit the tick mark over here. After that, I use the screen mode in order to blend it and get rid of the black part. Then I use the brush tool on the mask to get rid of the remaining parts and just have this little piece of whatever mess, if you want to call it that way. And I just placed it over here. And then I duplicated this layer and just spread it throughout the design like you guys can see here. And I also used this bubble layer over here, and just let me get rid of that. Right, so screen normal. Right, so this is the actual water drops or bubble layer I had, and once I got it, I changed the blend mode to screen, created a mask, and started using the brush tool to get rid of the edges. Then I of course increased the feather a little bit like that. Then I again duplicated this layer and I tried to place it differently. So I placed some of that in front of the girl and some other parts of the bubble layer behind the girl, so it adds more depth to the scene. Then the following step was actually creating this reflection on the water over here, and to do this I combined the entire upper part into one group, the water surface, the steam or the mist, the shark, and the lady into one group. I duplicated that, then I went to edit, transform, and flip vertical. And after I did it, I tried to cut it and just make this part appears. the part where it can be placed on the water surface. And after I did it, I went to filters, blur, and chose Gaussian blur and tried to just play a little bit around with this value in order to have something like that, as you guys can see here. And of course, if you think that it needs to be more visible, depends on how the colors match in your design, you can just create another copy and another copy, as you guys can see. Right, so the final step here, guys, was actually how to create that sort of brightness and gradual shades of the blue color. So as you guys can see, it goes dark by the edges here, and the more we move to the center, it gets brighter. And I can't really just cover that in this tutorial, so I'll probably be making a whole tutorial on how to use the tool I used to create that effect here. And just to let you guys know, what I used was actually the difference clouds, and you can find it under filter in render. Right, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. I really hope that this is a good one, and it gave you the chance to like some sort of looking into my mind and how I think when I come up with a new design or a new composition. That's how I pretty much work. That's my workflow. And in my upcoming Photoshop tutorials, I'll be focusing on the other things like the clouds, like the actual complicated effects we use to fine-tune the whole composition. Alright, so until the next time, I really hope you guys like this one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.